Welcome back, everyone, to Gran Turismo 3. And last time out, I nearly quit. It took several hours worth of attempts to get the Beginner League Gran Turismo World Championships dealt with. As you can tell by the amount of money I have. Granted, actually, that's not normal after you finish this, but I managed to get a good run in the last run there with the RX-7 that was able to give me wins in all 10 races. So yeah, at this point, I'm not really sure where to go from here. Obviously, we have a handful of cups we could still do, the four-wheel drive challenge being one that is glaring at me right now. So that may be where we head to next. Trying to get as much of this done as I can, even though obviously I want to go into the Amateur League and start knocking stuff like that from that out. But we've got a new car. As you guys saw at the end of the last stream, I totally didn't save scum and got this R32 GTR in Bayside Blue, which is just gorgeous. I love this car. I'm very stoked that I have this one. Because on my personal playthrough of GT3, when I did that race, I got the yellow Evo. And while I love Evos, I've done so much with them over the last couple of years. So obviously I can just immediately start dumping a ton of power out of this car, and I'm going to do that because, I mean, obviously we're in a road car. We're going to be fighting from behind this entire playthrough until we get a race car of some sort, whether it even be the Vertigo in the European series, or the Camaro LM race car, which is more what I'm shooting for, and that will give me a domestic car to use with some of the American events. So at some point, that's where I'm going to roll next in this playthrough, and this Skyline pretty much will carry us to close to the end of the game. So running low on dose. I'm going to try to be a little bit more cautious about what I spend my credits on right now. We'll go ahead and upgrade the clutch and the flywheel. I don't know about the transmission just yet. Obviously, if we do anything with test course, I may need to, because this car is going to be, on the original gearing. So maybe it's just a better investment to go ahead and buy the transmission. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it. It's a lot cheaper than I remember. I thought this was like a 20 grand part, but maybe I'm thinking of the later games. Racing tires. We are going to do the... Let's do the medium for cost effectiveness. And then we're going to go ahead and do the lightweight. This car, I mean, I'm trying to save some dignity here because I know this car is going to be extremely overpowered. But with all the struggles we've had in the last couple episodes, I'm sick of losing. Like, really sick of losing. So, alright. I think I forgot to do an oil change, so I'll do that too. Wait, no I didn't. I did that last video. At the very end, I believe. So there we go. We make 609 horsepower. While we weigh only 1,200 kilograms. So this is by far the most powerful car we have in the garage now. Currently, the RX-7 has the most miles of all the cars I've ever had. And, yeah, so let's go ahead and go and very quickly crush the four-wheel drive challenge. Because at this point, we've got more than enough power, more than enough torque, more than enough everything to win this event in the Beginner League. Part of the reason I chose the medium compound instead of the softs is because in the Amateur League stuff, when you pit in for tires, you can't change compounds. So I don't necessarily want to risk it and run the soft compound on those events with this car and then, be SOL on, tire strategy. It's not like GT7 where I can just go and change the compound and run with it and multi-stint it. Alright, let's get racing. We are at Deep Forest, so this should be a fun track to race this thing on. First outing in the GTR. Let's see how we go. We are rolling. Holy crap, this gearing is really short. Alright, we're definitely going to need to make some gearing adjustments right away. Handling is really good. Yeah, we're just going to run away here. Maybe I shouldn't have gone so nuts, but in my head I was like, I need to build this car for late game stuff, but it just so happens to be the only all-wheel drive car I have right now, so. I need to go and plot out the rest of this playthrough, though, because there's obviously going to be some strategic cars I'll need for different events. Because as I've mentioned before, the goal of this is to complete both the beginner and amateur league. That unlocks both endings, therefore beating the game. So I need to definitely plot out what cars I'm going to be chasing after in the coming episodes. Obviously, the Camaro LM race car is one that I really want, just because that car is just really good. I have one on my personal playthrough, and it is a beast. I would love to get possibly the Autobacks NSX or just any variants of the NSX for the mid-engine stuff. And obviously I need a TT, so I got to figure out where I can go win a TT from. I need to find where I can win an Altezza from, or Altezza. The Vits, I thought I already had one. I thought I had the pink Vits. I think I still do. So we'll probably build that for that event. I'm hoping we'll get some sort of Evo from this, and that will handle that front. I don't remember what the four-wheel drive challenge gives as a prize car. We are just absolutely crushing the field here. I figured we would. I'm surprised the handling still isn't that great. It's kind of understeery. So I don't know what exactly we'll need to change for that going into later game stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's not the best handling steering-wise. So I actually, in 2022, competed in an amateur league esports league deal and won a hat trick of races and wound up winning the title in that series with an R34 GTR that I've kept on GT7 to this day because of it. So I have a lot of history with Skylines, I have a lot of history with Evos. Those have always been like my signature cars for things. So yeah, it's great to be back in one in this. All right, and that is a race win for the R32 GTR. A good run. I'm very pleased with that. The car is very fast. It's a shame my Beetle RSI is in fourth. No. Oh, man. Y'all know I'm a VR6 fanboy. Y'all know I love the Beetle RSI to death. It's one of my favorite cars. Alright, so that's dealt with. We don't have anything going on with test course just yet, which is good news. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go ahead and make some gearing adjustments to this car, because this car desperately needs some gearing, because it's way too short. Let's see, what would be... I'm just going to use the auto feature, and we're going to bump it up to about level 32, and we'll see from there how that goes. Suspension-wise, I think I want to try to... I'm going to stiffen up the whole thing to about here, about this mid-range. I'm going to stiffen up the rear a little bit more. I'm going to try to induce some oversteer, because it's really understeery. Ride height, I'm going to leave, and the rest of this is already pretty solid. These are not, though. I want to stiffen up the stabilizer bars as well. Let's see, we're going to turn down traction control of 1, and our active stability is going to be also down to 1. This being an all-wheel drive car doesn't need all the extra assists. It helps, but it's definitely not necessary at this point. All right, I love how fast that flywheel is. It feels like I'm driving a GTR race car. All right, let's see how it goes now. Gearing's a lot better. I'm not in 5th gear already. So this track does have a fairly long straight on it, so I definitely want to have that gearing adjustment ready so that I can just steamroll on the straights here. I made this car even more dominant than it already was. That's wanted to see that in 6th gear. And this thing is a rocket ship. Goodness. So the handling's a little bit better now. Not having the customizable diff, I'm kind of limited in what I can do to try to fix the handling model on this. So I think the spring rate was definitely the right move. The diff tuning has always been a hot topic for me. I'm not good at it. I don't know how to tune differentials. And the older GTs, I'm only just now getting the hang of it on GT7. Big slide. Coming up the hill and onto the back straight. This thing is gorgeous. Such a good looking car. She's still got some understeer. I don't know if R30 like GTRs, like whether it be the 32, 33, or the 34, are inherently understeery in these older GTs. I get a friend that works at Z1 Motorsports in here in Georgia, so maybe I'll talk to him. He knows a little bit about the high cast system and all that stuff, and how the all-wheel drive on the GTRs, especially the older ones, worked. He might even be watching this right now. This thing is a treat to drive. It's rowdy. And it's not even as fast as it could be. Oh, it's that upgraded turbo away, that stage 4 turbo away from being just unbeatable. But I wanted the car to have still some low-end kind of punch that it wouldn't have with the stage 4. The stage 4 is going to make this car extremely difficult to drive on shorter tracks, like more tighter knit courses like Seattle. I could see being an issue for this car with the stage 4. But for a track like this, the Stage 3 Turbo is right at home, and I think the Stage 4 will do just as good here. All right, pretty solid race win. My goodness, that gap. It's fun to see an S4 again, though. You guys who watched the GT2 stuff remember how much I loved driving the S4 until I didn't. Once I started having some serious understeer issues out of it, I just didn't enjoy it quite so much. Alright, the final race here, the Beginner League 4-Wheel Drive Challenge, is at Special Stage Route 11. This should be fairly fun. I swear one of these races gives the TT. It may be this one. I really don't remember which event gives the TT. I know I got one from an event on my personal playthrough on my Steam Deck. Alright, we are racing at Special Stage Route 11, probably my favorite track in GT history. I've been pretty much like internally begging Polyphony to bring this back in some capacity to GT7. Unfortunately, well, one, I haven't actually said it out loud on any sort of GT post, but my wishes have not come true just yet. See, can we stay in second? We can. It is very upsetting. It upsets the car a lot, though. Especially, it's very upsetting in the car. Like it has feelings. Alright, we're already a 4-second gap ahead of these guys. This car definitely doesn't handle the low-speed stuff as well. I mean, it does fine. It does better than that RX-7 did, but the tail end definitely is a little bit wiggly in the slow bits here. Now, I love this chicane, but, man, nothing compares to the original. But I do love how this one looks more. Like, I think if I could pick the GT1 layout with this large colorful Ferris wheel in the background, I would take that any day. Like a hybrid between this and the original Special Stage Route 11. And I know it exists. It's more GT1 than GT3 at that point, but in the one of the betas I saw of this game, it still had the original chicane from Gran Turismo 1. If I ever win millions of dollars, I'm recreating this in real life somewhere. I don't know where, because where I live is very mountainous, so, well, I don't know. I live far enough south, I'm not like in a mountain city, but, you know. This corner complex is still getting me. Alright, we're going to open up the taps on the straight here. Let's see what she can get up to. I think this is a longer straight than at midfield, so I think we topped at like 156 on the midfield straight. Let's see what we can get up to here. We're going to hit 160. Are we going to hit 170 going into turn 1? Close. Or 169 going into turn 1, into the braking zone on turn 1 here. Ah, shoot. I knew that was going to happen to me eventually. It's a good thing this car is overpowered. I'll try to control the throttle a little bit more going in through here. Keep the tail slides to a minimum here. Costing me a lot of time. Still a little slide there. It really sucks that this was not one of the tracks that could be saved in the GT5 Master Mod. I'm honestly, if I remember correctly, especially Stage 11's files are so incomplete in GT5 that that's why they couldn't save it. I'm going to get back to doing GT5 videos probably when this series is done. I've debated when Pokemon finishes up because we are moving really fast through the Leaf Green Let's Play. If this playthrough is still going on when the Leaf Green playthrough is done, continuing a GT5 from there and having just a dual Gran Turismo run for a little bit. The dual Let's Plays has been fun, but I honestly miss being able to just have multiple episodes of these series up, and I feel like you guys probably enjoy that as well. So I'm also not opposed to, once Pokemon wraps up, to just double post this until it's done, similar to how I did with the German lock on GT4, just like I did with GT2 Plus. I pretty much posted 2 episodes of those every week until that series was done, which it's just funny to me how nothing has gotten the traction that did. And I'm extremely thankful for it, don't get me wrong. That was an insanely fun series, and it gave me a new respect for the older GT titles that are predate the ones even I played growing up. So, I don't know. I'm trying to decide what to do about that, because I definitely want to, bring the... I mean, obviously, you guys want to see old GT, not just PS2 era old, but old. Alright, what's our prize car here? I don't think it's the TT. Is it... Oh, you gotta be... This... I'm so glad I got the GTR right now, because I'd be so mad if I was playing through this and got this, naturally in the B class, the national, or the amateur, beginner league. Goodness gracious. Stuff. Why? Why in AutoWorks? You're racing against Beetle RSIs and S4s, but here, take a K car. Which would have been handy for this, but I already got the other Daihatsu, so... Let's see, what's left here? We've got, obviously, the one make stuff still to do. I know where I can get an RSI. So, I thought I did. I may have to get the Beetle Cup car. Because I don't know, I think you can only get the RSI from this. So, I have to look into it again. We have, obviously, the Evo stuff, the Vitz, the Altezza, the Mercedes one make, the TT one make. So, I got to figure out how to get the Mercedes, because that's one car I don't know where to get. It may wind up being the CLK touring car, and I still need a mid-engine car. Let's bump over to Amateur League. Still a lot of stuff. Oh goodness gracious, I'm struggling today. There's still a lot of stuff to do here. We could go ahead and do one of the Skyline events here. Let's go ahead and handle Trial Mountain, just because I really like that track. So we'll go ahead and handle one of the race of the red badge or whatever it was, red emblem. So we've got a fairly stacked lineup. We've got another GTR R32 in front of me, a V-Spec 2 R34. We've got a V-Spec R33, another V-Spec R34, but a non-V-Spec 2 model, and then an R32 GTSD Type M, which I do like those actually a lot, but this is definitely not where they want to be racing. 3 laps here. So let's make it count. Let's see what we can do here. And we are racing at Trial Mountain here. This shouldn't be too hard of a race to pull off the win at. I thought that was a Nismo R-Tune for a second. I was about to be like, what the heck is that doing out here? Oh, that jump really unsettled this car. Whoa. It's okay. I know I've got the power to overtake everybody, so I'm not too worried. The GTST is fighting out here. I do expect that car to be in dead last though by the end of this lap. It's giving some fight though. I'm pretty impressed with it. We're gonna get around it here. Is it tuned or something? Is the AI running a tuned GTST out here to try to level the playing field? Because it's keeping up surprisingly well with these GTRs. I don't expect it to hold that spot much longer though. Well, I mean it's holding it well. That car's got to be tuned because there's no chance that is a stock GTST holding on, battling GTRs, swinging wide, and there it goes down the order. I need to pay attention where I'm going. Just completely oversteered wide on that corner there. Alright, I'm going to try not to cut the chicane here. Now, the car does it itself. It does it itself. But I did that enough during the GTWC stuff because I felt like it was the only way to make the races more competitive for me. Here, I don't need to. Like, this car is just completely curb stomps everybody. So, I don't need to. I just need to be faster in my movements with the thumbstick. Alright. See, that right there, lap 1, completely upset this car and sent it flying, so I'm trying to reduce the chances of that. They're keeping up surprisingly well, so these cars must all be tuned in some respect. I mean, this is a 609 horsepower car. This should be a walk in the park for me, but they're keeping up surprisingly well. So that probably tells me they're a little bit modified at minimum. I love this color on this car. It looks so good. This may not be Bayside. It may be a lighter shade of blue than Bayside, because I think there is a Bayside car racing here. Yeah, and it's a little bit of a darker blue, so this probably isn't Bayside. I probably completely misnomered, I guess, the color name in the last video. So it's just a blue GTR. I don't know what shade of blue, but apparently it's not Bayside, so it kind of makes me think more World Rally blue, like Subaru, but I don't know. All right, we pulled away a good bit there. The high-speed stuff is this car's kind of specialty, I've noticed. It loves the high-speed corners. And, of course, you guys saw me struggle through the test on this part here with the R32 back during the first episode of this. And, of course, this car is way different, and I'm not on the wheel right now. So I did that on a steering wheel controller, which is probably why that didn't take an hour to do, honestly. Onto the back straight here. Let's open up the taps a little bit here. They gained about 2/10 on me during that sector. Like I said, this car doesn't do low speed very well. It does okay, but like better than the RX-7, but it's still not great in low speed stuff. Still has a tiny bit of understeer that I really wish I could figure out how to iron out. I don't really know what to do about that part specifically, other than I should have just put the softs on this car. Because that probably would have fixed everything. It'd probably be extremely neutral. Which is how I tend to like my cars. I used to be very understeer focused in my driving style, but as I've gotten older, I've definitely maneuvered to more of a oversteer setup. But not like super oversteer. Like, I don't like a twitchy rear end. Oh boy. I like more neutral with like a slight hint of it, where I can easily kind of get the tail to rotate. Like that kind of stuff. 3.7 second gap there to P2 there. We are running low on time for this video, but I want to give you guys another race to watch. I mean, we've gotten a lot of races done. So we're going to do Laguna just because I know it's a shorter race. And then doing 3 laps at Special Stage Route 11. So we'll do 3 laps at Laguna so you guys can get at least another race out of me before we wrap this video up. Alright, 3 laps of Laguna Seca. I don't know why. I love mimicking them. Alright, so it looks like we got another GTST on the field. We got an R32 right there. 2 R34s. Pretty much the same exact lineup from last race, just maybe different colors. Alright, let's swing it around here. Nice and careful. I know I've probably told this story a couple times during this series, but this has been like, this track was like my nemesis before the Nordschleife was a thing in GT. I had so many issues running this track when I was a kid, and it was nothing but the last corner. And the rest of the track, perfectly fine. I struggled so hard on getting the braking zone right for the final corner here and negotiating that corner correctly. So I had a very distinct dislike for this track when I was younger. I'm not entirely sure what the price card here is. I'm sure it's probably some variant of either R34 or R33 GTR. Whether I can't remember if this is where the Nismo 400R gets given out, or if that's a later event. Oh, big issue there. Dirt drop in that rear right. There we go. Saved it. All right, heading into the final corner here. Let's make it count. I'm not going to go into first gear because first gear is useless in this car. It's just really short. Oh, a lot of people went off back there. I saw that red R34 specifically. There's a lot of dust, though, from the final corner there. Good old Firestone. Tires that just like to explode on Explorers. Never ran a set of Firestones in my Explorer when I had it. I refused. If I remember correctly, U-Haul actually had a thing against the Explorer. Because, like I said, I owned one for about 6 years. And they had like where they wouldn't rent out a trailer to an Explorer because of the whole Firestone thing. Even one of the newer ones, like they just have a vendetta against that nameplate for some reason. So I guess that's why I've like rarely, if I've ever, seen a U-Haul trailer on an Explorer of any sort. I went in the first year after just saying it was useless a lap ago. We're pretty crushingly ahead of them at this point. Oh, another one went off there. I saw some smoke. Or some dust, I guess. It's the GTS-T that's in second. Wow. Big slide there. That is kind of surprising. I did not expect to see the GTS-T in second place there. I would love to just do like a run of this game or GT4 more than likely with it at GTS-T and just see how far that car can physically go. Because honestly, I feel like with the right setup, I mean, that's a fairly solid rear-wheel driver. Definitely not on the GTR's level by any means in terms of power, but definitely a fun car nonetheless. I know. I think I did do at least an episode with the GTS-T and the GT2 Let's Play last year. All right, going into the final corner once more. A little bit of a slide coming out of there, but it is a pretty crushing race win for the R32 GTR. Heck yeah, that was great. That was a good race right there. Very happy with that one. Nearly 6 seconds behind to the R32 V-Spec 2 that was in second. The GTS-T rounds out the podium. Good finish for that, honestly. I was something I didn't expect to see on the podium there. All right. So the question is at this point, this episode will definitely run long if I do this. Do I go ahead and do the Special Stage Route 11 race? And just clear this out? I think I'm going to, because what's the point of finishing this off with one race left to go, and then saving that? Oh, the next episode is gonna be we're gonna do this one race, this one random race here, and then go do something else. Like, let's get 2 prize cars this episode. Let's finish this out. 3 laps of Special Stage Route 11. Like I said, feels like only a few minutes ago. My favorite track in GT history, alongside Seattle. I just love this track. All right, we're gonna fire down in the turn 1 here. I don't know how this will go because they've proven that in lower speed corners they can keep right up with me. try to get close to that, but not too close, and I missed the mark by a mile because I wasn't even remotely close to that wall. Big tail slides, lots of them too, and that R34 is right on me. We've definitely found this car's nemesis, and it is low-speed corners. Definitely takes a little bit of extra throttle control to nail through here. All right, onto the back straight. We're going to dig in our heels a little bit, let this thing eat. I was able to get a pretty solid gap pretty quick. On this kind of secondary straight here. Yeah, this car is just very tail happy on low speed corners. It's one of those cars that I'm having a really hard time getting a feel for the handling on and low speed stuff. High speed, this thing is great. It's planted. But in these lower speed corners, it's like I have to be really cautious with the throttle input. All right, power down. This thing has gotten up to about 170 on this straight, so should be able to just very quickly and easily pull away from our rivals here. A little bit closer that time, but I missed the apex pretty hard in this one. Oh, big slide. All right, here we go through here. Little slide there, nothing crazy. All right, foot down. This thing is definitely great. I like this a lot more than I did the RX-7 or the Sylvia. Both of those cars were awful. I did not like how they drove. The RX-7, I will say, improved dramatically in that last run, obviously, of the GTWCs. But the fact it took the car nearly being fully built to do that is pretty nuts. I had to do so much. I had, I think, the second softest tire compound. Not the super softs, but it had the softs. So, I mean, it took so much money to dial that car in right. Whereas with this, it's like, I mean, I spent about as much as I did on that car probably in total, but it's so much better in every way. And it's faster. It doesn't make a terrible sound. It handles really good in comparison. Like, the low speed cornering stuff is one thing. I mean, I know R32s are just, or any GTR model, are kind of rear biased in the all-wheel drive, so I feel like the center diff, the variable torque split, might be a good option, so I can kind of try to give some of it to the front. Maybe that'll help a lot with these lower speed stuff, but it'll probably induce more understeer, which is what I don't want. I want it to have a fairly neutral character. Speaking of understeer, there's a lot of it there. I'm showing off a little bit. See, does it go with reverse shifting? A little bit. Not really. It actually doesn't benefit much from reverse shifting at all. I think it's because of the transmission. I feel like the true manual cars work very well with it for the most part, but like this running a sequential, like because the fully customizable transmission, it just doesn't. Yeah, I mean the reverse shifting does nothing for it. All right, on to the straightaway here to close this race out. Very, very happy with this car. This thing's been great so far. I'm excited to play through the rest of the game with it because, honestly, I mean, this is probably going to be the car you'll see the most until we get some proper race cars in their garage because it's just a really good car. 30K in the bank. The fact that these races are shorter than the GTWC stuff and you get more money per race, like, that's good. All right, prize car. I can tell it's a GTR model of some sort, and it is the Nismo 400R. Okay, I lied. We may be building this one because this is a way better car than even the R32 is. So yeah, I need to look into and see what all events can give me the other cars I need for this. Because obviously the main things is going to be getting a TT, getting a Mercedes, getting an Altezza, getting a Honda Type R model, and getting an Evo. So there's a few cars I definitely need to be hunting down. So I'm going to do some looking and see what all I should target next to try to get those cars. But for now, we're going to go say hello to the R33 Nismo 400R. And look at that. That is so sick. And we're going to build that in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.